live, think fast. This is where spiritual growth, I should say spiritual growth is about, you know, it's about being, it's there's no perfect way to do things. And that's where, that idea of it gotta be goody two shoes or, everything gotta be perfect. That's what, that's that, the misinformation of ascension or being spiritual. And then the labels, you know what I'm saying? Where the ego still hides within these labels like I am vegan, I am paleo, I am this, I am, you know what I'm saying? It's like still, or even down to, some people still dealing with the religions to a certain extent. It's like the reason why you get crushed so hard in most cases with your spiritual growth, because you try, like with people who hold on to labels and stuff like that, or reason why it seems like it's like where things that seem like it's going in disarray. If you overstood everything of how it's divine chaos, everything is not going to be perfectly logical, like how some people taught, or some people thought it was going to be in essence. This is a thing that's kind of unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? One day, I'm barely eating, fasting, drinking my alkaline water and everything. Then a few days later, I'm eating food late at night and eating some cookies with some eggs in it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if I was to hold myself to that, I'm a vegan, and everything should be perfect, I would probably want to commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what, matter of fact, labels. Like when I done did something outside of my label, now what? I might as well go kill myself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of mind frame that's hidden behind, like, the disappointment from going outside of your label. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why the spiritual walk too is about being guilt free, which I'm working on. You know what I'm saying? Like well, you might have a over sexual thought that might pop up. You might have a thought of possibly it would be better if I punched that person in the face so they could shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like those thoughts might pop up or whatever, but again, it's a transmutation of energy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna be again the perfect like in every moment you're gonna operate like this and and I love you and you love me and we're a great big happy family. The Barney vibe. Of course, it's about the love. But again, it's not that perfection in like how most people paint it. And the reality of the situation is that again, not being able to dive deep into the subconscious, some people have more of a human idea of spirituality. So that's why people get confused with the spiritual walk, thinking like, well, why this quote unquote bad thing? Matter of fact, and two, that's why having the understanding of there's no bad and good makes sense. Because then when that thought pop up or whatever happens, there's no good and bad, so you're not judging it, because it doesn't hold a position for you to judge. It has to, good and bad has to hold some weight for you to judge it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, that was a good experience, bam, you're judging over here. Oh, that was a bad experience, you know what I'm saying? The spiritual growth is just about growing, being, you know what I'm saying? So all the ideas of spiritual awakening being perfect, like especially with all these planets moving around, because that's another thing too, why I like on a non-judgment level, like with some of the spiritual people, quote unquote spiritual people that may be getting exposed or may be doing things that seem like it's not spiritual, they just going through their growth. It's no good, bad, right or wrong, you know what I'm saying? It's just going through the motions of growth, and it's time to stop over harshly judging ourselves and then that end up turning to judging others. You know what I'm saying? Again, with being guilty and judgment of myself, like that's what I work on, because that's one of my, getting rid of that little Capricorn energy vibe, holding so strong within my existence. But again, it's not gonna be beautiful like how it's mapped out to be in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't always singing bowls and crystals. You know, sometimes it's tears, sometimes it's confrontation, sometimes it's, you know, whatever the situation may be, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, sometimes it's a relative transition or quote unquote passing away, you know, like, and again, if you was to deem that situation as bad, and plus because you didn't know reincarnation exists, then now you all sad over something that, you know, that you shouldn't be sad over. A person is going to transition regardless. Like, for us to sit there, and of course that's our humanity, so before I go too deep on it, you know what I'm saying, because I had my areas of still missing my father's physical being, but, you know, it's you know, we reincarnating, nobody's going anywhere. It's no good or bad thing to die, because you're not dying, you know, it's transitioning, you know, transitioning, you know. The caterpillar dies, in essence, you know, but it's not really dying, you know. It's no longer a caterpillar, so, you know, but it's the birth of a butterfly, you know what I'm saying, after the transition from one thing into another, you know what I'm saying. But, again, I just felt it important, because with all these energies that's influencing, you know, like all the retrogrades, we got this eclipse, this what it is, a lunar eclipse, a blood moon, super moon coming on the 27th in the sign of Aquarius, which I do a video on. But again, like, all these energies is moving, and if you too judgmental over yourself and dealing with your spiritual growth, you know, you could kind of you know, you could harm you, you know, harm your soul in the process, in essence, you know, kind of almost hinder your spiritual growth to a certain extent, depending on how deep you know you fall into it, you know. So just a reminder, you know, that it's not always gonna look like, you know, perfect, like, you know, and all that. Like, it's gonna be gritty, you know what I'm saying? Like, pressure makes diamonds, not sunshine and unicorns. Matter of fact, that should be a quote. Matter of fact, I gotta find me something like Infinite Waters with the slow motion. But anyway, shout out to the brethren. But you know what I'm saying? Again, pressure makes diamonds, not unicorns and cupcakes. Which I said it different, but you get the point. You know, it's pressure. You know, in order to get to that light, you gotta go through darkness. You know what I'm saying? It's transmuting energy. You know, so it's going through that. So just a little reminder. You know, don't be too judgmental, too stern on yourself. Don't feel guilty about any little thoughts, like, because a lot of us too, I had this on my thing where, you know, you get the idea that you reach a certain level spiritual that you shouldn't go through certain things. You know, matter of fact, a lot of it, if you haven't reached that stage, you'll probably reach it where, you know, like, oh, all right, you know, you kind of feel like you kind of somewhat illusionary ego kind of kick in of, like, you know, yeah, I done made it, you know. Like there's a ceiling to this, you know, and that once you get to it, nothing bad, again, but you're looking at it bad, but nothing that could be seen as bad will ever happen to you again, and that could be as furthest from the truth. You're talking to somebody who meditate every day and show love to people and got my book sack stolen twice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you just gotta know that everything is the experience. It's no good, no bad, no right, no wrong. You know what I'm saying? Pull the plug on grandmother, you know, pull her off of that little machine. You know, she gets to transition and go to a high place. A lot of family members happy. Woo! You know, they see that as right. You know, you leave mama on the machine and let the machine just kind of pump life into her, you know, her vehicle. Other family are like, woo, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Grandmother, they see themselves as right. In all actuality, neither side is right or wrong. Just remember that. Happen now. Now is the vibe rate. The rate at which you're vibing. You're not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now.